Hey, what is going on, everybody? Happy to be doing this video, Tools for Fools, where I'm actually not very competent or confident with the machine that I am talking about. It's not like me to get on the camera or to do a video and talk about something that I'm completely ignorant of. But of course, I come at this from a place of humbleness, a place of wanting to learn and to listen. So if you have any pointers or tips or tricks or hints or whatever regarding a machine like this, they are totally welcomed. Criticism of any sort, totally welcome. I am making puppets. I announced this on Twitter that I'm going to be making these hilarious puppets. I'm going to make them say funny shit. I'm probably going to, feel out what I can do with them production wise and probably do some like Facebook reels, short TikTok videos, put them on Instagram or whatever. And it'd be pretty damn funny. This machine, I got this for free. This is a Kenmore 158.17600, and this thing is literally like brand new, like literally only used like 3 or 4 times. This thing is in excellent condition. Used on eBay, it goes for about $150, $160 in fair condition. I can't even imagine what this would go for in the condition that it's in. The only thing that I am missing are like the little flathead screwdrivers that you would use to adjust the tension in the bobbin, which I'm going to show you guys in a second. But yeah, other than like the missing tools, I have extra bobbins. I have another little bobbin holder thingy. I forgot the name of it, guys. Again, I'm new to this. And yeah, so there was a lot of trial and error getting this thing to work. And of course, this thing being so old, I believe this model came out in the mid to late 60s, maybe early to mid 70s. This is a Kenmore 158.17600. This thing is made in Japan. It is made of high quality materials, high quality parts, and it was sold at Sears back then in the 60s and 70s, like what Amazon is to 2023, Sears was to America. To Sears was the Amazon back then. It was such a big store. It was such a big company. They sold the best of the best. They were just revolutionary in regard to like the customer service, the warranty, the repairs, yada yada. And this thing is not any different, even though it's not made in America. It's made in Japan. The Japanese are excellent at making tools, making vehicles, making all sorts of really cool stuff. And this sewing machine has held up and has not eroded or fallen apart, despite it being in storage, used literally 3, 4 times, just not that often. And I don't know how to sew. I mean, I can do a little bit of stitching and some threading with like leather, but leather is just so much easier and more forgiving to work with, and the tools are just more readily available, etc. So I had to start fresh. I had to go and look for a manual. I found one online. I had to pay $5 for this thing, but this is the official manual for this specific sewing machine, and they put a lot of what is going on? Why is she whatever? Uh, so yeah, this is the machine here. A lot of really great illustrations. I love that show don't tell. And I really like following through with this is kind of difficult, but I was able to figure it out. But I like the part at the bottom where the care and maintenance of this device and some other very useful information is present, and it's just it's fantastic. Let me see, because it tells you exactly what you need to do to keep this thing in working order. So one of the first things that I did after failing to sew something together, I took some things apart and I started lubricating it. I started cleaning it. There was a little bit of dust, so caring for the machine, you need to clean it and you need to oil it probably after, so many uses, or if you don't use it for a few months, you may want to go ahead and do that. And yeah, so I mean, I was able to take most of this stuff apart without even looking at the manual. I was just able to kind of figure it out. And yeah, it's kind of dirty. And of course, I was able to take it apart just by opening things up. The majority of this is incredibly accessible. That's very, very convenient for me, as you can see right here. By the way, if anybody has something like this, or they find one, for like a few bucks or whatever, and they get it to work and you need the manual, just go ahead and like leave a comment, give me your email address, and I'll send it to you for free, because I think this kind of information should be free. I was kind of upset that I paid $5 for the manual. However, I got a free sewing machine, a free working sewing machine. And yeah, so I love that it has like a parts list. And again, Sears had all this stuff readily available, the names and the part numbers. Just they had everything, dude. This is insane to me that something like this existed in the 60s and 70s. But again, that was just a different time. Now everything is cheap and plasticky and falls apart. And yeah, I mean, it's just it's interesting how that is. Yeah, the only things that I appear to be missing here is like this little thread undoer tool and these little flatheads right here. So this flathead, this number 25, that is to adjust the tension on the little bobbin holding device thingy right here, number 4. So there's a little screw that you can go ahead and tighten or loosen, and that made a difference in getting this thing to sew properly, because I was struggling for quite a bit to get this thing to work. And yeah, so let's just run you through this really quick. So there are 2 points of tension modification. So there's a little dial right here. It's dialed in perfectly, so I'm not going to mess with it. And then down here, there's a little screw on the little bobbin holder. And that thing, you tighten it or loosen it depending on the type of thread that you're using. Or just, if it's just not working, just tighten or loosen it and, just play it by ear. And yeah, so that's basically it. And you definitely want to get down there cleaned. Right down here, if there's any dirt, dust, debris, I used Ballistol wipes to wipe this thing down. I sprayed a little Ballistol right in here. I'm not going to open it because it'll undo the threads, and I'm going to demonstrate this later. Maybe I'll show a video of me kind of oiling and lubricating this thing. Yeah, I guess this is where like the tools used to go, but again, they're missing. I don't know where they're at. It didn't come with this thing, even though I have the case. I'm gonna look through the case again and see what's up. But yeah, made in Japan. Very, very cool, man. Very, very heavy. I mean, this thing is pretty damn heavy, man. Pretty damn heavy. We have a reverse feature. We of course have all these little patterns to choose from, and that's really, really nice. I like that a lot. You can select the threading type just by flipping this little knob. Again, I have the settings exactly how I want. And then over here, we have this dial right here. Pushed in, you activate the actual sewing machine and use it the way that it was supposed to be used. And if you pull it back, you activate the mechanism that is used for getting thread around the bobbin. Pretty straightforward. And yeah. And then, of course, once you have the little bobbin holder thingy there, you push up on that, and then you press down on the pedal, and then it just winds, and then you load your bobbin down here. Let me go ahead and close this up. And just to demonstrate to you that this thing actually works, I have this scrap piece of paper, this scrap shirt, this sacrificial shirt. I was trying to make a T-shirt for the puppet, and again, I damn it, I ruined like 2 shitty shirts, and it was just unfortunate. It was unfortunate. Let's go ahead and there's a little lever down here, pushing down on it. So now the feet's down, and the feet, it's not wiggling, it's not moving at all, and it's because right up here we have like this tension rod. So the further down, the harder it is. You would want to push it down more, depending on the fabric that you're using and depending how many layers that you're sewing through. So if I'm sewing through multiple layers, which I am, I'm just leaving it there at the bottom. It seems to work the most for me. So on the side over here, we have an on and off switch. So let's go ahead and turn it on. We got a really nice light. You get a little bit of illumination, which is great, especially if you're not in a well-lit working space. The only problem that I have with it is that this thing gets really, really hot, so be mindful of that, guys. You could hurt yourself. You could burn your hands, which is certainly not something that you want. Now, before we get this thing started, is there anything in here? I don't know, whatever that is, that looks really, really important, so I'm not going to mess with it. Again, I need to go through that manual and study it because, again, I saved myself, like, at the very least, like, $80. I could have spent $80, got like a really cheap Singer, a cheap Brothers sewing machine, or whatever. And again, I got this thing for free. So initially, I believe this retailed at about $140 something back in the 60s and 70s. So adjusted for inflation, I don't know how much that is. Probably a lot. So this is probably a few $100s in today's money. But on today's money, if you were to buy something like this in fair condition on eBay, it retails for about $148. I've seen these go as high as $400 in 2023. Like $440, I saw some, and again, like decent condition, in good condition. This is an excellent condition with the tools missing. Anyways, let's not waste any more time. Let's take a look at the stitch. I mean, let's go ahead and sew this and examine the stitching. All right, the foot's down. I'm pressing on the pedal. And all I'm doing is guiding the shirt. Let's pick up the speed just a little bit. Yeah, you want to go slower when you want to like start turning and stuff. But yeah, I'm just going a little fast. Helping the little feet guide that through. All right, so I'm going to hit the reverse button. All right. Let's keep that thread up. Feet up, power it off so I don't get my hands cut in something. And yeah, so right over here, when you pull it, you want to pull it from the back. And because you don't want to have the thread undone, because this right here is technically a guide. So we have two threads here. The bottom one is from the bobbin, the bottom bobbin, and the top one is from the top thread spool. So I don't have my scissors here, but I have my my key port, keyport.com, keyport.us, whatever the website is. Get your key port. 100% endorse that company. All right, so let's go ahead and pull that back. All right, let's examine the stitching that I did, or the sewing. Is it stitching, sewing, whatever? So yeah. And I got to cut these threads, but yeah, you just want to go ahead and spread that out just a little bit. So this is where I sewed it. Oh, I didn't sew into anything, so whatever. But yeah, check this out, guys. This is pretty much invisible, but it is done here. Let me go ahead and just prove it to you. Like I would lie about this. Psst. All right. Raw. I sewed this together. How cool is that? Stretch my fingers. Ooh. So yeah, I mean, it works. Freaking works, man. How cool is that, dude? How freaking cool is that? So yeah, I could literally make a little t-shirt for my puppets now. Now that I have a sewing machine, I can definitely save quite a bit of time. I still need to learn how to properly hand sew. I mean, I think I got it down. It's mostly just getting those initial stitches and how to tie it off so it's not fraying when I'm finished sewing. And again, I have a lot to learn. But this is a really cool tool, and I talk about tools here on this YouTube channel. So I hope you guys appreciate this. And if it's something that you guys want me to show you, like how to do the bobbin, how to thread something in, blah blah blah, connecting it to the whatever, I could definitely do that. Maintenance on this thing. And again, if you guys are watching this and you want the manual for free, just leave a comment and I'll email it to you. Because again, Biden's America. Most people can't afford anything because the economy sucks. And but I bit the bullet, man. I took the hit for you guys. So let's go ahead and just do one more stitch really quick before I clear out. I just wanted to make this video. I know I was supposed to be streaming today, but I had so much stuff going on, and I got to clean the man cave. So when you want to thread this, before you start, sewing, I know this spool looks pretty bad, but it's a chaotic mess. But it's an organized chaotic mess. I know what's going on here. So you want to make sure that your thread is going through all the guides, okay? And you want to have the foot down. Make sure that your tension is properly set. Powered on. We have both of my threads in the back. I have one right here, and I got another one right here. And I have those out of the way. And yeah, so right here on this little sleeve, I'm just going to go ahead and thread this. You know what? Let's start back here. All right. Let's go. Stopping right there, hitting reverse. All right, lifting her up, needles up, feet up, pushing back, power off. Let's go ahead and cut the thread on the rear with my amazing keyport tool. So this is where I sewed it. This is where I sewed it, you guys. I mean, it's on there pretty good. Here, I'm going to try to rip it. It's on there really, really good, man. This is a really good stitch, very low profile stitch. This is exactly what I want. I'm not trying to have my scenes be pronounced. So it took a lot of trial and error. I literally have a bag right over here to my right with like a few t-shirts just completely ripped up. We got threads coming out of it and stuff. And again, it was me, and I was also just trying to be very, very delicate with this thing, you know, because I don't think I want any tension on it when I'm not using it anymore. Yeah, so yeah, it took a lot of trial and error, and I was just very aware of the fact that this thing is old, and I didn't know if this was gonna work at all, or something was just like falling apart, eroded, or whatever. But everything in here is like brand new. Again, I opened this thing up, I lubricated it, and yeah, man. So yeah, if there's interest, again, I don't mind doing a video showing like how to load the spool. I'll probably do it in bite-sized videos, just because it's just the nature of the beast these days, because people's attention spans are short as hell. But yeah, no, if there's anything you guys want to know, you guys want the manual for this thing, go ahead and let me know. Leave a comment. Please like, comment, subscribe, and give me money, all that good stuff. Bye. Peace.